What's going on, stackers? So in this video I'm going to share with you how to create simple patterns within Canva for your KDP low content covers. So welcome back to StackinProfit. My name's Paddy and over here we give you the tools and resources to learn, grow and master passive income streams so that you can live a life of freedom. Now, like I said, in this video, I'm going to share with you and show you how to create simple patterns in Canva, which are perfect for your covers. Now, before designing your patterns or creating your books, you should already have a niche in mind. Now, for this instance, what we're going to be doing is a 90s themed pattern. Why is that? Well, I was looking around on Creative Fabrica and came across some really nice graphics, as we can see just here. There's lots of different styles of 90s clip art. So that's what we're going to do. Now, if we take a look through this, we can see all of these really nice graphics. Now, if you want to get here, come and check out all these 90s graphics. I will leave a link down in the description below so you can go through and check it out. But that's what I've done. I've got lots of 90s clip art from here on Creative Fabrica and I've uploaded them here within Canva. So that's what we can see right here on the left hand side, and that's what we're going to design a pattern out of. Now, what I have also gone and done is just put the dimensions in for this. This is the biggest dimensions you can have. I believe this is 5,000 by 5,000. So if we just click on here, yep, we can see that here. That's the biggest dimensions that we can have here on Canva. Now, what we're going to do is just start designing. Start designing to create some type of pattern. And then, once that's done, what we would do is go ahead and put it on a book, something like a composition notebook. Again, you need to do the research first to see what type of book you want to create. But this is where we're going to put the pattern once we've designed it. So what I like to do is just start getting some graphics and putting it on the page. Now, you're going to see my process for creating a pattern. We're not going to spend a lot amount of time. Now, remember, the longer you spend on creating something, the better the design is going to be. Now, for this instance, we're just going to do this in around 10 minutes. But what I'm going to do is just start designing and talk why I design a pattern. So what I'm going to do is just put this probably like there. We're going to need more graphics. So I'm going to take this, maybe move that to there, like so. Move maybe to the side a little bit. Let's take a Rubik's Cube as well. Let's take that, move smaller. Now, what I want to do is literally design like a little block of graphics. Then I'm going to duplicate that block and put underneath and just start building like that. If you don't get what I mean, you'll have an understanding in a second. Now, let's take this. Let's make this one a little bit bigger. All it's about is moving the graphics on the page individually spaced until they look good. Again, you're going to see that in a second. Now let's take this little troll. If you grew up in the 90s, you'll remember all of this stuff that you can see on these graphics. I grew up in the 90s and it was a good time. Anyway, let's do this. Let's take that, make that a little bit smaller, maybe move that to there. Maybe I could move that down a little bit lower so it's lined up with that troll. Then let's take this one, move that. As you can see, all we're doing is putting graphics on the page. This doesn't have to be difficult. So let's make that a little bit smaller. And it's looking good so far. Now, I do have all of these graphics as well, which we could use. All more 90s graphic, which again came from Creative Fabrica, as we can see just here. So I do have all of those, but I want to keep this graphic, this pattern, congruent just by using the same style. So we're just going to use these ones. Let's take that, maybe make a little bit smaller, like so. Move that down to around about there. Let's make that a little bit bigger as we can see, we're filling in those spaces. Now, is this the right way to do a pattern? Probably not. This is just what I do, so I'm teaching from experience and how I create my own patterns. So now we have that there. I want some more. Maybe let's take another little troll. Let's flip him around, make him a little bit smaller, and maybe push him to there. There we go. I like him there, so we're going to keep him there. Let's move this over, because what I want to do is leave a little gap just here and a little gap just here as well. Why is that? Well, when we put this block together, I want this to fit just there, and I want this to fit just there as well, which again, if you don't understand, you'll get a more of an understanding in a second. Now let's take this, let's flip them round. Let's move that up, maybe move that to round about there. Let's take the ring, make that a little bit smaller, maybe keep that there, maybe move that over just a little tiny bit, maybe move that over, move that up like so, move this in, and now we're starting to get somewhere. So now what I want to do, double click on the page, drag, make smaller like so, move this down, then I want to duplicate and move this to the side. So now we can see that this little square from here is going to be behind this. Now this bit doesn't look that great, so if we take off that like so, we can look, this needs to be over a little bit more, so I'm going to do that. So let's take away that. Let's move this down just a little bit, move it over, move that in like so, and keep that there. Now let's duplicate that again, go back and move this to there. So now that's looking more like a good pattern. Now if we do that, just move this over ever so slightly. This one as well, maybe to about there. Take that, duplicate, and now I'm just going to move that over again. Now that's looking better. So now it all looks congruent, and it looks like, or should I say, it's starting to look more like a seamless pattern. Now what I want to do is just take that away again. That bit looks a little bit too close, so I'm just going to zoom in. I'm going to go over to there, go up a little bit, maybe just zoom out a little bit. Let's go to 25, there we go. So this, I want to move that down. I just want to make that a little bit smaller, like so, and move that to there. Then we have a little bit of space here, so I just want to fill that in really quick. We could probably just put a line or something like that. Let's take this, take that, let's go to fit, pull down, and let's just make that a little bit smaller. See, that's a little bit more, obviously I'm not too sure about that. We'll just keep that there anyway, but we're going to do that. Let's go back to fit, we got that like so. Let's take this, let's duplicate, move this over. So yeah, right off the bat, I don't like that, so we're just going to remove this. Let's do that again. Let's go to duplicate, move this over, keep it there. Let's do that again. So now, if we move this smaller, move to there, duplicate, go to about there. Now let's duplicate this, move that down, move this up and across. So I move it across like this, and now the pattern is starting to take shape. So from here, once I've got that exactly where I want it, maybe about there, like so, I want to duplicate, get the next one, move that back to the original place, just there. And then I'm going to duplicate again, move this up, move that one back over, like so. And now I'm going to copy all of this. So I want to move this down, and then I'm going to duplicate. Then I'm going to move this up, then I'm going to have that round about there. And we can see that it's starting to take shape. Now, I would spend a lot more time on this. I've got an example to show you in a second anyway, but you can see where some of these spaces aren't individually spaced. So I would actually go back, make sure everything's individually spaced, spending a lot more time on a design until it looks good. But then, once I've got it like this, I'd probably take away the side like that. Take away this side as well. Let's take that away. Let's just take these two away as well. But now we have the beginnings of our pattern. So from here, I'd drag over the top. I would group, so it groups everything together. And now I can move it up and down until I've got it how I want. So I could just keep it like this. Again, we can see that some of these spaces aren't individually spaced, so I'd want to go back, rectify that problem until it all looks good, because this looks okay, but the longer you spend on it, then the better you can make it to look. So if we go down one, we can see I spent a little bit more time on this one previously to making this video, and we can see everything is individually spaced and it looks good. So if we go up again, take a look at this, we can see it just doesn't quite look right because there's a space here, there's a space here, there's a space here. I'd spend a lot more time trying to design it so it looks more like this with no spaces left. And then once I've got that, I'm ready to start creating my book. Now remember, patterns like these can be made from any niche. You could do cats, dogs, foods, cars, sports, hobbies, so many different types of patterns, and we can get all those graphics from here on Creative Fabrica. But that's the pattern. That's how you can simply and easily create patterns here within Canva. Now once I've got this, I'm going to download. So I'm going to go to download, click on PNG, because I want the transparent background. Now this is a pro feature here on Canva. If you don't have the Pro, you can't use this feature. Now why do I like to use this feature? Well, it means that I can change the cover color on the fly. So what do I mean? Let me show you. So now I'm going to click download. Give that a second. We got the PNG, we got a transparent. So now I can go over to my composition notebook template and start designing the book from here. So from here, I want to take my pattern design. I'm going to upload that here into Canva just by dragging and dropping. That's now going to load up, and now I can use that on my book. Now, top tip, you can actually use these pattern designs for so many different types of things. So if you currently do print on demand, you can use these patterns for products in the print on demand industry. You could use it on mugs, t-shirts, masks, and so many different types of things. Especially it's good if you actually have a Redbubble store as well. Now here we are, the pattern has been uploaded, so now I can take this, and if you see, it's that transparent background. Again, why do I do that? Well, it means I can change the cover color on the fly. Now let's just push this back, forward. Now, how did I create this? This was pretty simple. I think we did a video creating a composition notebook. If I did, you should go through and watch that. I'll link it right there, right now, in the right-hand corner. So you can get an understanding on how I actually put all this together. But once you have a little template, we can use our patterns and then make our books fairly fast. Now, this looks pretty good. I'm liking this, but I can change it on the fly, remember, because this is transparent. So now all I have to do is change the background color to see what works best. So I could do a blue. In fact, let's just change that back one. Let's do that again. Let's move this over. Let's take that. Let's just move this one over a little bit. Let's remove that one just so we can keep it like that and change the background or the color. So let's change this again. Let's go on there. Let's click on here. And now I can go through the colors to see what works well with my pattern. So I could do blue. blue looks okay. I could do white. White looks pretty good. Now here's a top tip. If you have a spine on your cover, like so, you want to keep everything congruent. So I want to keep this colour the same as to one of these graphics. So what can I do from here? I'm going to use a Chrome extension. Or what I should say is I'm going to use a Chrome extension just here called Color Picker, or Color Pick Eyedropper. Now there's loads of extensions that do this. I have a couple of different ones. I have this one, and then I also have this one just here, which is called Colorzilla. They do exactly the same thing, and they're both completely free. But from here, we can actually use that to click on any of these colors just here. So if we click on this yellow, we can see up the top, it's going to find that hex code. Now let me just click on there. Give that a second. I don't really like that one, so we're going to use this one. I'm going to click, choose one of the colors that I like. I do like that purple and the blue, so let's go with this one. I'm going to click on there, and now it's given me the hex code, which I can actually take, copy. I actually want to copy that hex code, like so. Cross off there, and now I can go here, plug that into there, click enter, and now it's the same color as that. Now I clicked on the wrong thing, so let's go back, let's click on there, let's go back onto here, let's plug that in there and click enter, and see we now have exactly the same color to what one of the graphics are in the pattern, so that keeps everything congruent. Now another thing which Canva has recently added is photo colors just here. So this is actually going to pull up all the colors that it can from the graphics on your cover. So we can actually use that as well if you don't want to use a color picker. I use the color picker because sometimes these photo colors don't show everything, so it's just an easy way to get the color I want. Now looking at this, I like the white, but I also like that black. So if we go on black, I reckon the black looks better. So that's what we're going to keep it as. And now I want to take this, the actual pattern that we created. I'm just going to move that over. I can play around with this, making it smaller, making it bigger, until something clicks and it looks good. So let's just make that maybe a little bit bigger like that. We could probably keep it like so. Now from here, in fact, let's just move that over to there. Move that in. From here, I want to duplicate the pattern. I'm going to move that over, and then I'm going to flip it. So now we flipped it, I want to move it back over. I want to make sure everything is lined up. So if we just move that up one little bit, we can see that looks lined up. And now I want to move that to the back. I'm going to move it forward one, and there we go. The beginning, or not the beginning, the end of our composition notebook, our 90s composition notebook. And as you saw, it didn't really take that long to create. Again, when you are creating patterns, you want to spend a good amount of time actually creating the design. I don't know why this is white. There we go. But as I was saying, you want to spend a good amount of time to actually create your pattern designs. That way, you can fill in all the space, you can make it congruent, you can make it look good, and it's just always better when you spend a little bit more time on your designs. And then by doing that, you can make books just like this. So this looks pretty good. What I'm going to do is just download it very quick. We're going to take a look, and then that will be it. So I want to do that. PDF print, I want page number 1. So let's just take that out, click on here. There we go, and then click download. But as you can see, very, very simple. It didn't take long to create the pattern. Once you've created the pattern, you can create multiple different books out of it. You could change the background cover, color, so it's a completely different book. I could do this in black. Then I could just do a normal standard notebook with a white background. It's just utilizing your designs. Now that's downloaded, so let's take a little quick look, because this video's gone on a lot longer than I originally planned. We're almost at 20 minutes, but there we go. Look at that. So let's zoom out to there, and it looks good. This is a 90s style composition notebook. Now, is this a niche that you want to get into? Probably not. It all comes down to the research you do and the niches that you find. But that's it. That's how you can easily create patterns within Canva. Now, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Also, go hit subscribe and hit that little bell icon so you can be notified for any further videos. That being said, I've been Paddy, this has been StackinProfit, and I'll see you again soon.